Hi guys, first we're going to take some raw Swiss cheese and we're going to put it into the boiling water and we're going to see what happens. And we're not using too much of it because this stuff is pretty expensive. Go ahead, Jaya. Let's see what happens to it.
I think it melted.
I think it has dissolved into the water, creating like a cheesy water. It has literally completely dissolved and become one with the water. It has turned into a cheese water. So it's like a cheese flavored water. Okay. All right, Jaya. We're going to take the Kraft cheese. Why don't you break it in half or something?
Okay.
She's going to, I don't know, put the half in. Yeah?
I'll put the smallest piece.
Yeah, let's just do that. Okay. So we're dropping it into the boiling water to see what happens. It didn't boil down to, I mean, it's doing the same thing. Look.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, good. Well, we at least know that it is becoming like cheesy water also. If we do this. It still looks kind of different though. What do you think?
Yeah, it's more like bubbly. I mean, like it's more white. It looks more like milk than it looks more like.
Well, we put a bigger slice in here. Okay, I don't think that it did anything. Now we have a stove eye on high. We have a pan that we put a slice of the Kraft cheddar cheese. Can you take that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're going to put it directly on the heat and see what it does. Like, how does it melt? How does it behave? This pan hasn't been greased or anything. We just literally just set the cheese down. Okay, so it's sizzling. It's melting. Whoa. All right, let's see. We're going to see how it does.
Wow.
So it's basically burning onto the pan, okay? Now, so we can get it to come on out. All right, turn the water on, babe. All right, we're going to try to pour it out. Now, this is the part that's interesting to me. So, I put it in the water, right? And I've got some water in here. It won't just like fall out or anything, right? You don't see it just rinse out. And I have to scrape it with a scraper to get it out. See that? For me to clean the pan, like it turned into some kind of glue on the pan or whatever. And it's like really difficult for me to get it out of the pan. Okay, Jaya, now we have a fresh clean pan. We're going to take a piece of the raw cheese. Again, we're using smaller pieces of the raw cheese versus the Kraft cheese. So we have it in the pan, and I want you to see what it does when you put it on high heat. Let's just observe. What do you see already?
It's melting on one of the edges, like it's turning into grease, like liquid.
Yep. It's falling apart so much faster than the other.
And it doesn't stick.
Yeah, it doesn't turn into like a plastic sheet.
Yeah, it's like butter.
It's kind of melting like butter. So see, it's flowing around like butter. And it literally just dissolves into kind of nothingness, right? See that? Kind of dissolved into nothingness. Now, okay, we're going to show what happens when you take raw cheese and put it under a flame. Lower it closer to the pan. So this is melting and dripping into the pan. I think the one thing that people are always talking about in these experiments is how the cheese turns black. Well, I mean, you put food or anything, you put something in a flame it's gonna char a little bit and turn black. So I don't know that that is the problem as much as the fact that this, look at how it drips and drops and just melts right away. Normally you wouldn't put cheese directly into a flame, but if you did, this is going to melt, and this is how it responds to direct heat. Now we're going to take a slice of the Kraft cheese, and we're going to hold it under a flame. Hold it out long. Okay, ready? Now this one, what I think happens is it chars, but it doesn't actually drip into the pan. It's not like just dripping, melting. It just chars, and it kind of, I don't know, it's behaving differently. It's softening, it's melting a little bit, but it doesn't like drip off like the raw cheese did. You see? Now the other thing that's interesting about this is that you have this burnt cheese in this pan, and the raw cheese literally just wipes away. See that? This one, I can't even get it to fall into the pan at all.
I would like to tell you the ingredients of the cheeses that we used for our experiment. The raw cheese made by the farmers the ingredients for them were raw cow's milk, salt, rennet, and culture. See? And the Kraft cheese
That's made by the scientists.
that was made by the scientists were cheddar cheese, milk cheese, culture, salt, and ionisms, water, milk fat, sodium cultrate, salt, sodium phosphate, sorbic acid as a preservative, ulcerin, paprika color, annatto color with sunflower lecithin added for slice separation.
Yeah, let's see the ingredient. We'll just put it right here.
It's really small.
Let me see if I can get it in the camera. Hold on. Right. So let's talk about these ingredients. So you have food scientists that are using ingredients like, first of all, they use cheddar cheese as an ingredient for the cheddar cheese. I find that very interesting. And it says that the cheddar cheese is made with the milk, cheese culture, salt, and enzymes, which means that they have to add a synthetic enzyme to the cheese to make it digestible by human beings. Then they put water, milk fat, sodium citrate, salt, sodium phosphate. I think that's like 3 kinds of salt, first of all of which are acidic. Sorbic acid, 1 more acid. And then all of these are used as a preservative. You have aleucerin, paprika, annatto, and then sunflower lecithin. All of these things, these lecithins that they use, and the colors are to make it look attractive, make it look consistent, make it feel consistent, because nature is inconsistent. So the food scientists have to do something to make it look consistent. And then they say that they have to add the sunflower lecithin to help with slice separation, which we don't really have that problem with the raw cheese because we just cut it like when we're ready to use it, right? And then sometimes we make it into squares and blocks. Sometimes we make it into slices. Triangles. Something.
Heart shapes.
Yes, heart shapes.
If you want to.
Yeah, we can make it into whatever and then add it to the food. But we don't need to add a bunch of, chemicals. Now, whether these things are all natural or not all natural, when you put them all together in a lab, like the sunflower lecithin, it is derived from sunflowers, which is something natural. They take the oil and then they start taking things that are in nature and making them into parts and pieces. And when you take the parts and pieces, out, then it's now become a science experiment.
Yeah, and another thing about it is that this has like one, two, three, 4 things, and this has like 16.
Right. And so that becomes
It
very...
doesn't you don't need a lot of ingredients just to make a simple block of cheese.
Or make it. I think they do that because they want it to always look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Because they have a patent. You know, Jaya? And did you know that you can't, like, put a patent on nature? But you can put a patent on a chemical. So this is actually not really just a simple food anymore. Now it becomes a food-like substance or food-like chemical. Is that right? I think I didn't know what else it might have said. Yeah, so it also says that it's processed cheese. It's pasteurized processed cheese. And so it's interesting to me that this cost us, what did it cost us? Like
It's like
$4.50,
$4.50.
$4.55 or something like that.
Yeah.
And our raw cheese...
It's like $3. It's not that much.
No, actually it cost us $6. So it was $2 more, but they didn't do a whole bunch of stuff to it. But the farmers can't probably make like 10 million packs of this. They only made like, I think 100. And I think Kraft probably made about like 10 million of these. So like when you make something in volume, meaning like if you make a whole bunch of it, then each one can be a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But when you're on the farm and you can only make 100 blocks of this,
Yeah.
then you gotta
Like
charge
real
a
cows, they can't make this much, you know? That's why the scientists make it.
Well, they can make that much, but they're doing it the natural way, and so they're making a little bit of it at a time, and so it's in what's called small batches on the farm. And in a factory, they can make like 100 gazillion.
Because the machines are like so fast.
Yeah. They can make like 1 million of these.
In like
but
one day.
in like 10 minutes.
I know, right?
Right? And these guys, you know, they spend a lot more time doing this, and so
It takes them like 3.
but it's still
days.
they still only charged us $2 more. And this is a half a pound of raw cheese, and this is 8 ounces, which is a half a pound of the chemical cheese.
Yeah, and also another thing is that sometimes this cheese is more filling than this cheese because it's actually nutritious.
Oh, that's
And
true.
then-
Oh, yeah, you're right. It's nutrient dense.
Yeah.
So you can't even eat like one of these slices.
Well, but you could eat this whole thing and you would still be hungry. Like you would be full for like 10 seconds and then you'll be hungry again.
Right.
But with this, then you'll be full for like
Well, you can't even eat a whole slice
a
of
whole
that.
day.
You.
I mean,
If I took a whole slice that's this size of this,
Like,
which
this
means,
is-
Jaya, look, that would mean I sliced this whole piece.
yeah,
big.
this like
You,
this is,
what would you say to me if I gave you all that cheese on a piece of plate?
Well, I mean, like when this, like if you did this, I would be full. But if you did like this half, I would be good, maybe.
You wouldn't even need the whole one, is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
but like this is like the same as this,
Mm-hmm.
but this is more filling than this, and they're like the exact same
Size.
size.
So you could make this last more days.
3 weeks, like
Wow.
this could be
Probably
like
not 3 weeks.
a month.
No, maybe
In February, yeah.
maybe you could eat this for 5 days, right? And this one you could eat in 1 day, because you would want.
We could eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
And
we'll still be hungry.
Yeah.
And we could have this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and we'll be like full.
Yes. And we would maybe still have some left over.
Yeah,
Okay.
like we would have like this left over, like at least.
All right. Thank you, Jaya. So, in conclusion, what did you learn from this experiment?
That food scientists use food conditioners in the Kraft cheese slices, and the raw cheese made by the farmers has no conditioners in it. I like the farmer's cheese better than the scientist cheese because it tastes better and it has no side effects to my health.
Cool. All right. Thank you.